Turkey and Iran share a 500-kilometer border. They enjoy $7.5 billion worth of annual trade, and 1 million Iranians visit Turkey each year. But last January, when Turkish President Abdullah Gül hosted a forum on Afghanistan with his Pakistani and Afghan counterparts, Iran was among the few participating countries not to send a representative at the presidential level. Elliot Hentoff, a scholar of Turkish-Iranian relations, thinks he knows why.
Iran is not completely comfortable with Turkey, and it never will be.
Hentoff says Iranian leaders are perplexed, even envious, that a country that was half as rich as Iran was 30 years ago when the Islamic Revolution took place is today twice as wealthy as Iran.
From that standpoint, to see a neighbor that really was a backwater, that was an underdeveloped, authoritarian country, now emerge as a model, as a leader, must be very frustrating, and that impacts political relations at some point. Accepting Turkish leadership is just one step too far.
In recent years, the political dynamic between Ankara and Tehran has been turned completely on its head. Today, Turkey is a major political and economic force in the Middle East. It's the 16th largest economy in the world, and Iran looks to Ankara for economic benefits and cooperation. Turkey has arbitrated an Israeli-Syrian conflict. It's played a role in the political reconciliation of Lebanon, and it's trying to bring together leaders of Syria and Saudi Arabia. But by pursuing its current foreign policy strategy, Turkey is also taking on Iran's mostly self-ascribed role as a defender of the Muslim underdog. Just last week, Ankara announced it's determined to develop an industrial zone in Palestinian territories, despite opposition from Israel. Last month's Israeli attack on a Turkish-led aid flotilla to Gaza only helped crystallize Turkey's role as the newest advocate for the Palestinians.
That role as the alleged defender of the, Mustafavan, or the oppressed in the region and beyond, that is the role that Iran only partially fulfilled in the past. In the revolutionary discourse, it may have seen itself as the leader, but it was basically the next best thing on the market. You now have a better alternative on the market.
Analysts say the Arab Street hopes the more liberal Islam of Sunni Turkey can lead to solutions for persistent regional conflicts. That shift means Middle Eastern players are relying less on the Islamic Republic for political backing. Last month, Hamas refused Iran's offer to provide an escort for their aid ship to Gaza following the flotilla attack, saying the Iranian assistance might only complicate the situation.
Supporters of Iran or affiliates, even such as Hezbollah or Hamas, they quickly have picked up on the signals that Iranian influence perhaps is not as valuable as Turkish influence.
Surveys from a well-regarded polling organization in the United States also show nearly half of Palestinians and 60% of Lebanese have an unfavorable view of Iran. Similar surveys show that the public in countries with large Muslim populations, including Turkey, lack the confidence that Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad can do the right thing regarding world affairs. Iran may have mixed feelings about Turkey's rise, but Ankara is firm in its resolve to prevent the likelihood of military action over its neighbor's nuclear program. That shared interest between Ankara and Tehran may be ultimately the strongest bond between these two neighbors. Turkish officials were in Washington last month to defend their government's no vote in the latest round of UN sanctions against Tehran. Namik Tan is Turkey's ambassador to the U.S.
It will be Turkey that will be hit hardest by the sanctions or use of force. If we are asked to bear the burden, we should be also given a chance to engage in an effective dialogue with Iran. We are right next to Iran, ladies and gentlemen, not 10,000 kilometers away, like yourself living in this wonderful country.
Despite the envy Iranian leaders may feel towards Turkey's growing regional influence, Tehran continues to view Turkey as an overall positive force. Iran, after all, is Turkey's second largest natural gas producer after Russia. And Turkey acts as a buffer on Iran's border from the encroachment of Western NATO powers and to some extent Israel. But analysts like Hentoff say if Ankara's influence on the Muslim world completely overshadows Tehran's presence in the Arab street, Turkey's gain may eventually become Iran's loss. Mona Rabiee, VOA News, Washington.